Do it.
So, hey, everyone, this is Brian here. We're back here with our series, the Build the Perfect album. We basically ranked the top 12, or in this case, it'll be the top 24 songs of a given year. I'm joined again by Rich Strickler, who always enjoy hearing his interesting takes on all of music and everything, and his interesting facts. And Doc, he's joined us again. So I appreciate you guys joining me again for this. This one's kind of as the start of one of our special years. We decided right early on in the process that what we were going to do is we were going to have 3 years that each one of us could choose throughout history where we thought it warranted having a double album. Instead of just choosing 12 songs, we're going to choose 24 songs. So what you're going to get with this first video is you'll have basically volume 1. It'll be our first album choice, and then we'll go through, and I'll start off tonight. And if I'm not mistaken, who's following me tonight? It says Doc is following me, and then Rich is batting cleanup tonight. So, and then we'll just start the same sequence when we do volume 2 later on. So we gave ourselves a little bit of extra leeway with this one. What we did was we said, okay, we can choose 2 songs from the same album, obviously, because that gives us a little bit more leeway. And because some artists actually during this time frame, you're going to find some artists release 2 albums in the same year, you could actually dive into other songs from those albums, and they still, of course, singles are still on the table per usual, in case you want to go that route, or we still have album cuts in case you want to go a little deeper than most people want to go and pick a song that didn't chart, but you thought was a good song by them and a good song choice. So I'm looking forward to this one. This is the best year we've done so far. I think we can kind of all agree on that, right?
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough. So anything else to add, guys, before we kind of jump in on this? This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
Can't wait to see what you guys have. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
There are no wrong answers.
Yeah,
unless it's Elvis.
According to Brian. Brian.
All right, so I'll get started then. I'll start mine off here. And so this is my first album, volume 1 of what I consider the top 24 songs of 1969. My number 1 song leading off for me, it's ironic, is that this song is not even considered one of the Rolling Stones top 500 songs of all time, but it's my favorite Beatles song, and it's my favorite song of all time, which is just the irony of it is incredible. And it's Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. It's not listed in Rolling Stone's top 500, which blows my mind. I think I'm a big George Harrison fan, and he's on top of his game in Abbey Road. And I thought this song is just incredible. So I had to lead it off with that one for sure. My number 2 track, I went with a little bit of soul mixture in here. I got Joe Cocker's Feeling All Right from his With a Little Help from My Friends album.
Nice.
Just great soulful. He does a lot of cover songs, but man, his cover versions are just incredible. He just basically does a whole different arrangement when he does other people's songs, and it's just wonderful. So coming in at number 3, which is ironic because actually my side 1 here has 3 of my top 25 songs of all time. So side 1 here is just going to be incredible. So number 3 for me is also in my top 10. It's Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones from Let It Bleed. I consider maybe it's definitely my favorite Rolling Stones song. Yeah, obviously every time you think of the song, you think of a Martin Scorsese movie for some reason. It's just always going to pop into your head there. So I think
somebody just got shot.
Exactly. It's just all that. So number 4 for me on this side, I've got Led Zeppelin's Living Loving Maid from Led Zeppelin 2. I really like this album. I love this track here. It's kind of a nice rocking tune. I feel like it kind of smoothed out the edges a little bit in the middle of this record. So I wanted to go ahead and throw some Led Zeppelin in there. Number 5 for me on this side, I've got the Guess Who, These Eyes. Guess Who, I'm a big fan of a lot of their work. They're mostly a singles artist, for sure. their albums typically aren't loaded with you know, a lot of hits or anything. They just have a lot of albums. So it's one of my favorite songs by them, though. But rounding out the first side, I've got Simon and Garfunkel's The Boxer, which is in my top 25 songs of all time. So well written, such a melodic tune. Seems like I always come back to, whenever I feel like I need to end a side for some reason and mellow things out, I always come back to Simon and Garfunkel for some reason. So that rounds out my first side, guys. Thoughts?
Quite interesting. I like it. It's weird that you have Here Comes the Sun leading off and The Boxer as a closer on one of your sides, because I have that exact alignment, but it's on my volume 2. Just to
nice
little prequel there.
It just feels like it.
I heard a lot. Yeah,
it just feels like it kind of goes together a little bit. So
yeah, I heard a lot of songs that you might hear again coming up. So
okay.
That's what I can tell you, right?
That's fine.
What was your number 5 again?
My number 5 was These Eyes. Guess Who?
That was a runner-up for me. That was one of my last cuts. I love the Guess Who, and I just couldn't squeeze them on. But I was thinking heavily about that song. I like the Joe Cocker edition, and of course, "Living Lovin' Made's" a great song.
Yeah. Perfect.
Awesome.
Onward to side 2. I'll jump right into
side 2.
Yeah. I'm going to lead off with "Fortunate Son" by CCR. I know Rich will be extremely happy about this. And it won't be the only appearance from something from Willie and the Pole Boys. I mean, so long as we understand that. It's just a great iconic tune, and it's part of that anti-war sentiment that was going on in the late 60s and stuff, and a perfect fit, I think, here for the album. Here's the number 2 track on this side. Is a deeper cut. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's Fairport Convention. It's Richard and Linda Thompson's band. This is from Legion Life. The song's called Come All Ye. You should definitely check it out. It's kind of a mixture of rock and folk and traditional Scottish and that type of music, and it's just fantastic. It's in the top 1,000 albums you should listen to before you die, and it definitely warrants a good solid listen to. If nobody's heard that song, I highly recommend it. Number 3 for me is going to be Sly and the Family Stones, Everyday People. Just smooth, love it. Sly, I liked all of his material I listened to when I ran his discography. Like you said, though, Rich, it's kind of a shame that they never managed to escape the 60s for some reason. They just couldn't, break into whatever the 70s were doing. They just couldn't find a niche there to fit in. But it's too bad, because they were just tremendous. Their albums they put out in the 60s are fantastic. Number 4 for me is the Kinks' Victoria off of Arthur.
Nice.
A big fan of the Kinks' run here, right in that latter part of the 60s and early part of the 70s. I'm just a big fan. So I definitely wanted to put this track on there. I knew I wanted to put it on the first volume too. I just thought it fit better with what was going on here. Number 5 for me is going to be Blind Faith. And I'll make sure that I use the proper album cover whenever we do this. Blind Faith, Can't Find My Way Home. It's a great song. I mean, you can't go wrong. How can you go wrong when you got Steve Winwood and Eric Clapton in the same band? It just doesn't seem like that would be a possible thing. But great tune, nice and smooth, and it kind of like edges me out here toward the end of my album. And I went with an ending. I went with my 6th track is going to be ending it off is a prog tune. It's a Epitaph from King Crimson, from In the Court of the Crimson King. Probably the most well-known, especially maybe the most highly regarded progressive rock album ever. Definitely the most iconic cover when it comes to progressive rock that you'll ever see. But Epitaph, totally. Epitaph's a great tune. It's good solid 9.5. I think 9.5 or 10 minutes long.
10 minutes.
But what a great voice! I mean, Robert Fripp is just fantastic in this, and it's incredible. I mean, I went on to run a lot of their discography because of this album. So that's my volume 1, guys. What do you think?
Excellent.
It's fantastic, buddy. Fantastic. It's a great volume, man.
I love it. I have 5 of your 12 so far.
Wow.
Not necessarily on volume 1, but within the 24 songs, I have 5 of those 12.
Wow, and we're only halfway there. That's not bad.
I know. Can't wait.
We'll have to do the tally at the end, Brian, but I don't know, buddy. That's I heard a lot. Let's just put it that way. I didn't keep track on that, but I think we'll see as we go for sure.
A lot of good stuff. I haven't heard a lot of Fairport Convention, but I will check that song out because what I've heard I like that folky vibe that they had. So I need to check more of their stuff out because I like that lead singer too.
Richard Thompson did a whole slew of duets and solo material too in the 70s and early 80s, and it's all good. All of it's good. Yeah,
good stuff. Yep.
Very cool.
So who's up on deck?
Doc's
I think I'm up next,
rock.
Brian. Here we go, buddy.
Here you go. Let's hear it.
So we're like neighbors or something. So come on over next door, buddy, and here we go. And we'll just start my stuff. Here's my my first side A album one here, I guess. So I see a lot of similarities in the way we were thinking here in some senses, Brian, but maybe just went a different way. But you get the idea. So I'm starting off with the first song you heard from this band, from the first album you heard from this band, and this shows you where it's going. So it's Good Times, Bad Times by Zeppelin starting off, man.
There we go.
Real rocker to get going, man. That's for sure. You want to get in the mood. As soon as you get that, you're in. So it's that, man, and something you never heard of before, and what a ride Zeppelin takes you on, man. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Following up with that, little Neil Young, man, going some Cinnamon Girl. Was my second track on this one. So it's another, for even Neil, even like, just a little heavier riff on the guitar and stuff like that, it's just another one of these catchy tunes for me. And I've always liked this tune, man. It might be one of the more popular ones for Neil and stuff like that, but still a great tune in my eyes. And I got 24 to take in this year. I'm taking that one. Real shocker for you boys. Here comes some Procol Harum again, eh? So I got Salty Dog, man. What can I tell you?
Oh, yes. I saw this coming.
I'm sure you did. Real shocker, but what a beautiful song, man. So well written. Once again, we talked about it before, but Procol Harum doesn't sound like anybody else even at this time, and I still go with that. They sound, it's haunting and it's dark and it's Floydish, but not Floydish, and they have their own sound, and it really appeals to me. And this song is just almost right at the peak of that. So Salty Dog, I love that song, man. So it's coming.
Good pick.
Number 4, side A. Another guy who makes some noise for me moving forward. It's Bowie doing Space Oddity, man. So,
okay.
Here's another almost psyche kind of tune and stuff like this. This is 50 some odd years ago, and this guy's writing about this stuff back then, man. He was ahead of the game when he was doing this stuff at that age, very young too. So it's another one of those things, and the song's almost like not perfect, but it is perfect in one sense. The counting is off, but it's perfect, and it goes in a lot of different directions. But a classic tune in my eyes. Number 5, I got Joe Cocker's Feeling All Right, buddy.
Oh, woo! Like nice.
Yeah. I mean, there's covers, and as soon as you say it, man, you're hearing Joe Cocker singing it in your head. So that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's just a classic rock song of 1969, man. And obviously it same vibes. Brian makes my top 24 for the same reasons, really.
Yeah.
Number 6, I think it's starting off your other side and the other side. So I got Fortunate Son as well, buddy, from CCR dropping in here, finish off my side A. So starting heavy, ending pretty heavy, more of a rocking kind of side for me in one sense. So Fortunate Son's a classic CCR tune, man. And we'll see how the rest of this list unfolds, but that was making my list no matter what. That's one of the early ones I wrote down. So that's my ending side A.
Great. I agree with that. I have 2 of your 6 so far.
Yeah. I have 2 as well. Yeah. I think everything was right up your wheelhouse that I knew that was coming. Maybe not that Neil Young song, but I knew something from him was coming. So that's fine though. I mean, Procol Harum, I'm like, I wrote that down on your list and downloaded the graphic even before we had
you've already got the graphics done.
I'm not even messing around with that. So
funny.
Well, if you flip it over, maybe you see some of these coming, maybe you don't see something. So I went kind of like, I'm going to say rockish, then I go soft, or softer, shall we say. So that's kind of the way I set up my albums on both sides. So it's the way it's going to be. So flip it over, you mellow it out for the second half of the concert, everybody. So it's starting off with Dylan's Lay Lay Today. Start off my side B. Dylan's voice isn't for everybody and everything else, but it's kind of perfect in this song. So it doesn't ever fit it. So Lay 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 is another Dylan that's just a classic tune to me. So it's peaceful, it's poetic, it's a great song, man. Following that up with the band, it's not the nicest one, but it's a great song, man. The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. It's my follow-up to the Dylan. It's my second song on the second side, and it's just a powerful song, and Leave On sounds fantastic, man, and it's another one of those classic tunes I'm taking with me, man.
Good.
Yep. Number 3. But I don't know if you saw this coming or not. I don't know, but it's The Son of a Preacher Man. Dusty Springfield, man.
Good pick.
Thanks.
I like that.
Yeah. It's almost like that, talk singing kind of thing. And it's, very Janis Joplin like and stuff like that. And for a long time early in my life, it was Janis Joplin until, I got into music more and more and figured out, hey, this is Dusty Springfield. And what a smooth, sexy, sultry voice to go with it. And man, it's a really good tune.
It's hard to shake the Tarantino feel to it now, though, isn't it? It's really, you always associate it with Pulp Fiction now, and it's odd about that, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but as a standalone song, it's just a kind of a classic song, man, especially from this time. So
absolutely.
Follow that up with another one that everyone knows it for the hook, but the song itself is really a really great tune and kind of psych, man. It's Crimson and Clover.
Yeah. Okay.
Real psychedelic song when you get right down to it. Everyone's into the Crimson and Clover, but the feedback whammy, it's almost kind of like a Jefferson Airplane vibe through it. And just a great tune, man. Crimson and Clover. Like I said, everyone knows the hook for the title, but the actual song itself is fantastic, man. So I'm gonna follow that up there. The Hollies, man. I'm doing He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother.
Great.
Good.
I blame my dad for this one, but it's stuck with me my whole life. And what can I tell you, man? I got 24 tunes to pick out of 69, and this one's coming. So I blame my dad with good reason and lots of good things behind it too. It's a great song.
Yeah.
You start with the harmonica and stuff like that, but the singing, the voices, the harmonies in that song are fantastic as well. And it's another great one, man. Finishing off my side B, buddy, with Something by the Beatles, man. I don't know what else I can tell you. It's one of my favorites again. So a little heavier on the side A, a little softer on the side B, but trying to keep that vibe going as we go through these two two albums. But that's my end of side B.
Yeah, I think I end up having 5. Not, obviously not on my first one exclusively, but I mean, so I think we're all kind of right there. The Dusty Springfield did surprise me a little bit. That's good. I like it. That's a little bit
cool.
off your beaten path a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I liked it. I had 4 of your 12, and the Night They Drove Old Dixie Down was runner up for me. As was Cinnamon Girl. I could have had easily 6, but I went with a different Neil tune.
Yeah, I can see that. Obviously.
Yeah. So very cool. I like
Very good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I liked it.
All right, you ready me to jump in this baby here?
Well, let's make it happen.
All right, right out of the chute, I'm going with Gimme Shelter, Rolling Stones, my opening track off the Let It Bleed album. Just an ominous, classic, all-time Stones song. It's just a shot away. You got rape, murder, fear, war, all that stuff. It's just a shot away. It's a great epic tune. So that's right out of the chute. Number 2, Whole Lot of Love by Led Zeppelin. I took a song off their second album. Just another signature song, an opening track off of that album. Sexual lyrics, going to give you every inch of my love. Woo! All that stuff. Very heavy for its time. You can read whatever you want into that, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway. Number 3, little pinball wizard from the rock opera Tommy. Deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. Another great rocker. Daltrey with that incredible lead vocal, and you got Townsend on the bridge. Great. What a combo they are. Number 4, I have a song that Doc had, I think. Yes, Fortunate Son is my 4th song. You both had it.
Yeah, we both did.
That's the
Trifecta.
trifecta then. The trifecta from Willie and the Poor Boys. So this was, like Doc said, it's one of the first songs I picked. I knew it was going to be on my 24 somewhere. Anti-war, the wealthy and the privileged get to sit on the sidelines while the working class and the poor or underprivileged have to go to war. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no senator's son. I ain't no millionaire's son. I ain't no fortunate one. John Fogerty, one of his best songs. Number 5, I've got the Neil Young song, Down by the River. This is a dark tune, the killer guitar licks, Crazy Horse, of course, his backing band off the Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere album.
Mm-hmm.
I could have taken Cinnamon Girl. I could have taken Cowgirl on the Sand because I like that song too. But I went with Down by the River. And to end side 1, I went with Chicago from the Chicago Transit Authority album, Beginnings. Only the Beginning, an 8-minute album version written by Robert Lamb, a keyboardist of the band. It's got a great percussion and drum solo at the end by Danny Serafin. I love the album version. And it's actually re-released in 1971 as a single. It went to number 7. On the flip side was Color My World. So you had Beginnings and Color My World in 1971 as a single. But the original I took off the album, Beginnings by Chicago. I'm a Chicago fan, especially the early Chicago. So that made my list.
What a great album, buddy.
There's like no surprises there at all. Everything is like, it's like everything like made total sense. I'm like, yeah, it's Rich. It's Rich.
That's my wheelhouse, man. That's
it's right there. It's right in your wheelhouse, especially the Chicago one, which I knew, for some reason. I mean, I've listened to Chicago Transit Authority, and for some reason, I never could shake the Peter Cetera 80s Chicago stuff, and so it was awful hard for me to go back and like give those guys a legitimate try again.
A fair shake.
Yeah, I need to do that.
They were a different band in those days.
Yeah, and one thing I have done, I have listened to Tommy again, because I'm not into rock operas, but ever since I watched the documentary on The Who, man, just Keith Moon's drumming. I'll listen to an album of theirs now just to listen to his drumming.
Just to listen to Keith go.
He's great. Yeah. He's fantastic.
He's something special, man.
He is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Side 2. I think I have 2 that have already been talked about, and they're the first 2 songs up. I'm going to lead off with Crimson and Clover by Tommy James and the Shondells.
Wow.
Psychedelic pop masterpiece. Number 1 song in January of '69. And it's weird. I guess Tommy James was doing hallucinogenics or whatever he was doing back then. But the title of the song I read comes from his favorite color, crimson, and his favorite flower, clover. And he was just spacing out, and he comes up with crimson clover over and over, and it has that that vibing kind of psychedelic sound to it. So love it. Number 2 is Everyday People, Sly and the Family Stone, which Brian had. This was a big hit, number 1 for 4 straight weeks. It's a call out for peace and equality, different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. It doesn't matter if you're tall, short, rich, poor, fat, skinny. They address all that. Black, white. We got to live together. A great message in that song, and cool to listen to and sing to. My 3rd tune is a single from the Stones, Honky Tonk Women. And I had to have this on my list.
Yeah.
It wasn't on an album except for later in the Greatest Hits, but this was a single. And then another one of these sexualized tunes that only Mick can do. Jinso barroom queen up in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She blew my nose, and then she blew my mind. And this is with the classic lineup with Mick Taylor and Keith Richards, Bill Wyman and Charlie Watts, and of course Mick. This is the best assemblage of the Stones, in my opinion. Number, what, 5, I guess, or 4? 4 is Bad Moon Rising. I threw another Creedence song in here. I could have added more, but I only stopped at 2 because they could have had 6 easily. This is roots rock personified, the apocalyptic lyrics, earthquakes and lightning, hurricanes blowing, rivers flowing. I hear the voice of rage and ruin. I know the end is coming soon, all that stuff. Hope you're quite prepared to die. One eye taken for an eye. A lot of biblical, a lot of end of the world stuff in there. My 5th tune is by The Doors, Touch Me, off the Soft Parade album. Come on and touch me, baby. Another one of those classic Doors tunes. Had to have at least one tune from them on here. And this is the one I picked in 69. I'm going to love you till the heavens stop the rain, till the stars fall from the sky for you and I. And then it goes into the saxophone, which is tremendous. And I'm going to end side 2 with the Beatles Get Back, a single that would later show up on the Let It Be album a year later. But this was the original single that made the charts. Billy Preston's on hand to play piano here. And a great guitar solo by George Harrison as well. Great vocal by Paul. Shows the Beatles near the end, and they can still rock it with the best of them.
Yeah. The documentary.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that documentary on the Beatles. Even I, as a person who's not a diehard Beatles, type of lover or anything, I still appreciated so much stuff that I learned from that. I mean,
Totally.
As a person who not even into the Beatles, you could just feel the tension in that room, and you're going, these dudes have got one foot out the door. Every single one of them got one foot out the door. They're ready to move on. You could.
I thought Paul was trying the best. Paul was trying to hold everybody together, but they were so fragmented by then. George wanted out. John was busy with Yoko and seemed disinterested, so to speak. But you could see it was at the end.
Yeah, but my appreciation for Paul's being able to write melodies just grew astronomically. He's able to take a big podge of nothing and just turn it into something
out of nowhere. You see him
out of nowhere, man.
That song right on the spot.
Incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible stuff. Here's what I'm surprised about your list, and we'll get into it when I do this part 2. I'm going to have more CCR songs than you have. How is that even possible?
Looks that way, because I like a lot of that music that year. It shouldn't be, but it's going to turn out that way. I have a few of my honorable mentions. If we want to run through them, we can do that. But
yeah, you can. Why don't we
at the end?
We got a little bit of time here. Why don't we do it on this one? Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I don't want to do that yet. Not me.
Okay.
Because we're going to see what's going to be on side 2 for.
Maybe I'll wait. I'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, geez, I mean that's probably the quickest turnaround we've had in a long time here, guys. That's actually pretty good. We got to do double albums more often. We seem to stay on task. So that kind of wraps up our volume 1 of our 1969. We still got 12 more songs to go each. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that all pans out in the long run. We did have at least one trifecta, right? That was Fortunate Son.
Yes.
And then a bunch of them I know that I have in later albums as well. So it may end up panning out that we have more than that one, but Fortunate Son did make the trifecta here. So that's kind of cool. So, I mean, wrapping it up for this volume here, I mean, thanks a lot, Rich, for joining me on volume 1 here. Doc, we're going to see you guys real soon. And it's going to be a lot of fun finishing off 1969. I'll put a link down below to Rich's channel, by the way. And I'll have a copy of the rules down below as well, everybody. So, and please, if you get a chance, check out our other videos. We've done 1965 up to this date so far. All of them are very good, informative videos. And I think anybody could really appreciate some of the things that we touch upon in there. A lot of knowledge going around in this little trifecta we got going here. So check out those videos and give us a chance there. We really would appreciate it. So until we log on to do volume 2, Rich, say your goodbyes. Doc, say your goodbyes. And I'll say my goodbyes. And I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes.
We'll be there.